very closely. Now, we've been searching for the next generation of Formula One talent. Look no further than the mechanical engineers at Bath University. They've built a car that's going to face some very intense competition.
We all have to start somewhere. Top names of today, such as Ross Brawn, Patrick Head and Adrian Newey, set out in motorsport with an engineering degree and a dream. But dreams are closer to reality for these young engineers at Bath University. For them, the road to Formula One starts with a project called Formula Student, and it could be a fast track to the big time.
Formula Student was started 20 years ago in the States. A project to challenge the students to build a single-seater race car. There's also a business element to it. We have to prove that we can build the car for less than $25,000. The competition moved from the States about 6 years ago, and there's now a European event which takes place at Bruntingthorpe in Leicester. It's a lot of hard work, but the learning experience is just incredible.
The thing that they get is a tremendous amount of maturity. I think they learn an awful lot, and it's not just about building the fact that they've built a racing car. They've matured as engineers when they've been doing this, and they, at the end of this project, they learn a whole lot about timescales, about the importance of working as teams, and just getting on with it and working together.
Well, it certainly looks very impressive on the computer simulations and in the workshop. There's really only one way of finding out whether this little car is actually any good. And that's by bringing it to this airbase in Wiltshire and thrashing it within an inch of its life.
Check out flow. Hold on, start the good.
This is the third car Bath have produced, and not only are they up against the cream of the UK's engineering universities, but they also face stiff opposition from the USA. For the last 2 years, Formula Student has been won by the Americans. Hopes are high of a good result. Early testing has shown up nothing more serious than the odd oil leak.
We're aiming to finish top 5, frankly. The American teams come over and they have been doing this competition for a good 20 years, longer than the Australian and European teams. So they have far more experience and in some cases a bigger budget, which obviously helps. We've got two main drivers, Amy and Ollie, who are established drivers. Amy is a British karting ladies champion this year, and she's won herself a test drive in the Formula Ford. Ollie races Formula Legends, which have been supporting the touring cars this year.
I'd love to get into motorsport on a driving side, but I'm also interested in getting involved in terms of as a race engineer. Formula One would be nice, but anything at the sharp end, touring cars, GTs, something like that. I wouldn't like to narrow myself down to Formula One.
It must help them enormously having a karting champion on the team and driving the car.
Yeah, I can give them some good feedback and help them set it up a bit more than just any old person jumping in saying, "Oh, I want to go fast," because the competition's about the handling rather than the raw speed. So.
When guys come to us in later years and say they've been involved in those things, it's more interesting for us to see their CV. And the guys that are keen and persistent or girls, it's good to see them take part in these activities.
I think it's quite important because it teaches them about what's important for racing, and they're involved in normally lecturers or advisors that can teach them about things that are important, whether it's weight distribution or roll stiffness and reducing weight and centre of gravity height. It's obviously that should be coupled with experience in racing teams as well, but I think that the competition's a good thing.
The competition itself takes place next weekend. What happens there could make dreams come true. Formula One's engineering future is in safe hands.
And you can check the students' progress on the ITV F1 website. It's appropriate to remind you the competition to win a week's work experience at Williams is still running on that site.